Silence is often considered golden, but at the wrong moments, it can become the most dangerous weapon you wield. In a world where injustice, miscommunication, and conflict flourish in the shadows of passivity, choosing to stay silent isn't simply about avoiding confrontation, it's a decision. And too often, that decision aligns with oppression, wrongdoing, or maintaining the status quo. Have you ever refrained from speaking up because it felt too risky? Perhaps at work, when a colleague faced unfair treatment, or at home, when traditional values clashed with your beliefs. That silence didn't just shield your comfort, it became complicity. Today we'll explore 5 scenarios where silence isn't just a mistake, it's a betrayal of your integrity. These moments demand courage, clarity, and action. Principles deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Before we dive in, I want to sincerely thank you for your incredible support. Your thoughtful comments and encouragement make creating these videos an absolute joy. If this is your first time here, please don't forget to like this video and enable notifications to ensure that YouTube helps others like you discover this content. Now let's confront the true power of your voice together. Situation 1, when injustice occurs. Injustice isn't an abstract concept. It's a corrosive force that undermines trust, dignity, and fairness within communities and relationships. Remaining silent in the face of injustice isn't neutrality. It's a deliberate choice that allows harm to spread unchecked. Stoic philosophy regards justice not just as a virtue, but as a responsibility. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What's not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This reflects a profound truth. Tolerating harm anywhere within a community ultimately harms everyone, including those who remain silent. Why do we stay quiet? Often it's fear of confrontation, retaliation, or standing alone. While these fears are natural, they paralyze us, making us complicit in the harm we hope to avoid. Silence may feel like a safe choice, but it often deepens the chaos. Injustice thrives in silence, much like a wound left untreated. Early in my career, I witnessed a colleague unfairly blamed for a mistake they didn't make. I knew the truth, but fear of standing out silenced me. Watching them face unjust criticism felt like a betrayal of both them and my values. Over time, I realized that silence in the face of injustice isn't just a failure to act. It's a failure to live with integrity. Speaking out doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's the small acts of courage, voicing the truth, supporting someone under attack, or refusing to be a passive bystander, that ripple outward, fostering trust and empowering others. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but action despite it. The next time you witness injustice, ask yourself, is my comfort more valuable than someone else's dignity? Situation 2, when boundaries are crossed. Personal boundaries are more than preferences. They define respect, trust, and integrity in relationships. Allowing others to violate those boundaries sends a dangerous message, that your values are secondary to their desires. The Stoics remind us that self-respect is essential. Epictetus wisely said, "No one is free who is not master of himself." Setting boundaries isn't an act of hostility, it's a declaration of self-worth. I once had a relative who frequently borrowed money but never repaid it, despite heartfelt promises. Initially, I convinced myself that helping family was my duty, but over time, the requests became more frequent and the amounts larger. Resentment began to build, not just due to the financial burden, but because I realized they were taking advantage of my kindness. Eventually, after yet another request, I decided to address the issue. I explained that while I cared deeply for them, I could no longer lend money without accountability. I offered to help in other ways, but drew a clear line regarding finances. Though they were initially defensive, they later appreciated my honesty. This conversation not only protected my financial stability, but also allowed our relationship to continue on healthier terms. Failing to enforce boundaries can lead to exploitation and strained relationships. By asserting your limits, you affirm your self-worth and demand mutual respect. Stoicism teaches that the way we allow others to treat us reflects our values. Setting boundaries isn't about rejection. It's about preserving what matters most to you. Communicate your boundaries clearly and empathetically. Firmness paired with kindness fosters understanding while avoiding unnecessary conflict. Remember, boundaries are not barriers. They're safeguards that create stronger, healthier connections built on trust and mutual respect. Situation 3. When honesty is essential. Honesty is the foundation of integrity, yet it's often the first casualty in moments of discomfort. Staying silent when the truth is needed isn't just avoiding conflict, it's compromising your principles. Stoic philosophy emphasizes living in alignment with virtue, and honesty is a cornerstone of that alignment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But what happens when silence itself becomes a lie? When withholding the truth enables harm or deception, it betrays not just others, but yourself. Early in my career, I encountered a team meeting where a report with significant errors was presented. The inaccuracies, though unintentional, painted a misleading picture that could have serious consequences. Everyone noticed, yet no one spoke. I felt the weight of silence, but knew I couldn't let the errors go unchallenged. Despite my discomfort, I pointed out the mistakes respectfully. The tension in the room was palpable, but ultimately the corrections improved the project and preserved our team's integrity. That experience taught me that honesty, while difficult, strengthens trust and respect in the long run. Being honest doesn't mean being harsh or overly critical. It's about having the courage to address what's necessary with compassion and respect. By doing so, you create an environment where authenticity flourishes and deception diminishes. The next time you face a moment where the truth is at stake, remember, temporary harmony gained by silence often leads to long-term erosion of trust. Upholding honesty reflects your commitment to integrity and sets an example for others. Situation 4. When a mistake needs correction, mistakes left unaddressed often grow into larger problems. Correcting errors isn't about assigning blame. It's about safeguarding integrity and progress. Stoicism teaches us that obstacles are often the path forward. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." During a presentation early in my career, I noticed a miscalculation in a report. Though minor at first glance, it had the potential to escalate into a larger issue. It wasn't my mistake, and I hesitated, fearing I might embarrass the person responsible. But Stoic principles guided me. It wasn't about any one individual. It was about the greater good. I spoke up and pointed out the error. The room grew quiet, but instead of conflict, my actions sparked a constructive discussion. Addressing the issue saved the project from potential failure and demonstrated the importance of accountability. Mistakes are opportunities for growth, and addressing them respectfully fosters trust and collaboration. Focus on solutions rather than faults, and let your actions reflect your commitment to collective success. Situation 5. When your expertise can help, knowledge isn't just a personal asset, it's a shared responsibility. When your expertise can alleviate someone's burden, solve a problem, or provide clarity, staying silent denies both them and yourself the chance to make a difference. The Stoics believed in shared humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." Offering your knowledge is an act of service that strengthens community bonds. I recall a time when a friend was navigating grief after a personal loss. Having faced similar pain, I recognized their emotional isolation but hesitated to offer help, fearing my words might be unwelcome. Eventually, I decided to reach out, sharing my own experience. That simple act opened the door to meaningful conversations and provided the support they needed. Your expertise, particularly born from struggles, can guide others through similar challenges. Approach these moments with humility and sensitivity, focusing on offering help rather than seeking validation. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Sharing your wisdom uplifts others and deepens your own sense of purpose. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. If this content resonates with you, please hit subscribe, enable notifications, and share your story in the comments. Remember, your voice has the power to inspire change, both in yourself and the world around you.